let's get to it. We left off a while ago, and I apologize for that, but finals and stuff happened. But now it's winter break, and I can record quite a bit, so... Nin was quite right in saying that. This town was fundamentally peaceful, and saw very little criminal activity, in part due to people taking pride in the town's culture. Even so, the revelry-loving temperamental youth of this country often went out on holidays like these. It was true that they were mostly harmless, but still there were no guarantees either. I'll go with her.
Chris. ありがとう。後でお礼をしなくちゃいけないね。
Your delicious cooking is more than enough to satiate me. My words of flattery incited a warm chuckle from Nina.
それで何を買ってくればいいの？ここに書いてあるもの。
She handed toward a tiny slip of paper.
これって昨日も買わなかった？さっきちょっと焦がしちゃったのよ。恥ずかしいから言わないでおこうと思ったのに。珍しいね。そういうこともあるのよ。ほら、早く行ってきてくれないとお料理が作れないでしょ。はい。
Leave it to us. Thinking of how charming it was that even Nina could mess up as well, Tord and I headed for the front door. I wondered what to do about Forney and shot my eyes toward the table. She noticed and shook her head. Oh well, we wouldn't be gone for long anyway. We're off then. Leaving behind the nodding fairy, Tord and I stepped outside. So, what do we have to buy?
お魚。今日のメインだね。
That's important, huh? It's that important, huh? It was customary to have seafood dish the day before Natale. And on Natale itself, meat dishes were standard fare.
ほんと珍しいんだけど。
I'm sure it is. Tord inclined her head and thought for a moment, then produced a smile the next, as though she'd suddenly forgotten all about it.
じゃあ早速行こっか。
Yes, yes. As expected, the town was ready. It was rowdier than usual in town. There's no doubt it would quiet down in a while when everyone outside would return home to their families. But now the streets were still packed, with people either doing last-minute shopping for Natale or on their way home. We weaved our way through the crowd, intent on quickly finishing what we came for. Okay, I'm leaving the rest to you, I proclaimed in front of the store, then cast my gaze onto the streets. I no longer listened to whatever reply Torda might have given me. Instead, I stared at the rain. Thanks to the roofs covering the streets, there were no worries about getting wet here, since Torda's house was comparatively close to the main street. I hadn't gotten too wet on the way either. Watching the people come and go, a strange feeling overcame me, and I began asking myself what I was doing here. I'd spent Natale with Arietta in this town twice. She always arrived on the morning of the 25th. She would take the night train that departed the night before. I would pick her up at the station. We would attend the mass at the cathedral, and then stay in my room until late. The first year, she told me she wanted to try my cooking, something I'd just learned to do. I vaguely remembered making her some pasta that night. Aria would write about those things in her letters, which had caused me some embarrassing moments in the past. The things I had all but forgotten had remained as funny anecdotes in Torda's memories. I remembered that we had gone out to dinner the second year, although I no longer remembered why we ended up deciding that. Since then another year had passed, but this time she wasn't there. If I went to the station tomorrow, she wouldn't arrive. I didn't think I would miss her that much. After all, I'd be spending the day with Torda tomorrow. I wouldn't be able to write to Aria about that until after Natale. It would be another week on top of that before I could read her reply. What would Ari think? Would she laugh and let it slide, thinking it was the natural course of events, us being partners? Or...
お待たせ。
Welcome back.
おかえりっていうのも変だけど、まあいっか。それじゃあ晩ご飯が遅くなっても嫌だし、帰ろっか。
Yeah. I responded to the girl I would be spending the day with tomorrow and took the shopping bag from her. When we returned, Nina and Forney simultaneously turned our way, welcoming us back. Nina must have gotten tired because she sat reclined in a chair, apparently awaiting our return.
Tadaima.
Sorry to have kept you waiting, Mrs. Fine, I supplemented, provoking a mild glare from Torda. She continued as though nothing had happened.
はい、お魚買ってきたよ。ありがとう。あとはそれをオリーブオイルでよく焼くだけだからすぐにできるよ。手伝おうか？そのくらい一人でできるよ。
Smiling, Nina went back to the kitchen.
大丈夫よ。ああ言ってる時は誰が言っても聞かないんだから。もう何年も住んでるだけあって見えなくても私よりうまく料理くらいはするよ。
That's hardly a feat.
そういうこと言うんだ。
I'm kidding. Aren't you learning? I'll try out your cooking once you believe it's good enough.
なんか悔しい割れようだけど仕方ないか。
She said regrettably, possibly reminded of her past track record. What shall we do about practice?
まあ今日はこのくらいでいいんじゃない？明日もそんなにできるかわからないけど、ナターレくらいは静かに過ごしても構わないでしょ。
Weren't you the one hammering on the fact that we should practice all day?
気持ちの問題よ。それに毎日少しでも継続してやった方がいいからね。
That's true. I gave Forney a fleeting glimpse and noticed her staring off into the distance, seemingly lost in thought. I couldn't talk to her right now, so I made a mental note to ask her about it later. Soon after, Nina's voice resounded from the kitchen.
トルタ、出来上がったから取りに来て。
Mrs. Fine, shall I help as well?
うちのおばあちゃんがお客様にそんなことさせるわけないでしょ。
I'd been the one to act distant toward Nina, so now Torda was treating me like a stranger, accurate in a way. I remained seated behind my Fortelle as I waited for Torda to disappear into the kitchen, and I focused my attention onto the disinterested fairy. You sure look bored. I absent-mindedly played our practice piece in the background to drown out my voice.
ああ、そうでもないよ。
It took her a few minutes to respond. You might not have been while we were practicing, but we're going to have dinner now.
クリスとトルタの話を聞いてるだけで、私は別に暇でもないんだけどね。
But you look seriously bored right now. Just now.
ああ、さっきはちょっと考え事をしてただけ。クリスが見てるのには気づいてたよ。
Oh, really? I stopped talking when I sensed Torda coming out of the kitchen behind me.
はい、暑いから気をつけてね。
She placed some kind of plate on the table right behind me. Ah, thank you, Torda. I replied without looking behind me, as I didn't want to break off in the middle of the piece. Torda appeared to pay no mind as she went back to the kitchen, humming along to the melody. She brought in a plate after plate. It was an appropriate Natale dinner, but it seemed like a whole lot for just the three of us. There was a bit of a solemn atmosphere as we sat around the table before dinner. The light of the candle flickered leisurely as Nina chanted some simple prayers.
はい、堅苦しいのはこれで終わり。はい。
Thank you. Forney was sitting on the edge of the table, listening in on our conversation. Every now and then she would disinterestedly look the other way. As for me, I felt as I was watching this picture-perfect Natale scene from afar. It was the same feeling I had when performing, like I was no longer myself. The feeling seemed limited to two occasions, either when I lost myself in a performance, or when I was casually exchanging idle chit-chat like this. It was moments like these that I could truly be myself. Every word flowing from my mouth was typical.
そしたらクリスは何て言ったと思う？
What did I? Why is it scrolling so slowly now? Then his laughter brought the flame rocking once more. Then it hit me. This was how my tale was meant to be spent. Ignoring those of nobility that had villas here, most students living on their own returned home for the holidays. While there were some seniors that remained to focus on practicing, they were in a minority. Having said that, I had returned home once over the past 3 years. My parents told me I didn't need to return if I didn't want to. Torda hadn't ever returned home either. It might run in the family, or it might have been some local influence. With those thoughts in mind, I continued eating. I kept a smile affixed on my face, and continued conversing naturally. But somewhere deep inside of me, I couldn't help but feel like I wasn't really there. We'd finished washing the dishes, and were now engaged in conversation again. Torda and I with an espresso, Nina with a chamomile? I don't know how to say that. Chamomile? Tea? I don't know how to say that word. The strange sensation I felt before had passed.
さて、今日は2人に特別にプレゼント?
Is this the repayment you were talking about? You really don't have to.
と言っても余り物というか、私が無理になったからできれば言ってほしいと思ってるものなんだけど。
I was clueless as to what she was talking about, but then Nina produced a small envelope from her pocket.
明日コンサートホールで演奏会があるのは知ってるかい？そこのチケットがちょうど2枚あってね。
Nina is trying to make this ship sail right now.
え？それって毎年おばあちゃんが楽しみにしてる演奏会のじゃ。
私は来年も再来年も何度でも行けるからね。お前たちはまだ一度も行ったことないんだろ？今年で最後だし、ちょうどいいから行っておいで。
Oh, but we've got to practice.
いい音楽を聴くのも練習のうち。習わなかった？
I did, but...
学院の OB が中心となっている楽団だし、卒業演奏の前にこういうのを聞いておくのは何にせよ悪いことじゃないよ。
でもチケットが2枚って？
今年はトルタも誘って2人で行こうと思ってたんだけど、素敵なパートナーができたみたいだから一緒に行ってきなさいってこと。
Oh, but I couldn't accept that.
クリス。
She in no way raised her voice, yet her words oddly managed to crush my will to object.
いいから行ってらっしゃい。
クリス、こうなったら無理よ。おばあちゃんの頑固なところは知ってるでしょ？
Okay, thank you very much then.
はい、どういたしまして。開演が3時からだからミサに行くなら早めにしなさいね。
だってさ、朝からこっちに来れる？
At what time?
9時ってとこかな。
That's early.
アルトの時はいつも起きてくるくせに、私とじゃ不満だっていうの？
Nope. Don't get the wrong idea.
なら起きられるよね。
And here I was thinking I could sleep in this year.
あと清掃とは言わないけど制服で来た方がいいわよ。
ああ、それもそうだね。
Understood. I will be partying then. It appears morning will come quickly tomorrow.
まあいいけどね。
はい。じゃあまた明日。
Forney had taken her cue and walked toward my hand. I inconspicuously picked her up and placed her on my shoulder. Where should we meet?
迎えに来たら？
迎えに来たら？
Okay, I will come for you at 9. Nina repeated the exact same phrase Forney suddenly uttered next to my ear. I had no choice but to comply.
本当に来てくれるの？
Not like I have a choice.
それはなんかひどい。
Just kidding. I was planning on coming to pick you up from the start.
嘘だ。嘘だ。
Oh, whatever. Then see you here at 9.
はいはい。普段着で来たらダメだからね。
Okay, okay. After saying some casual goodbyes, I stepped out into the rain. You sure you weren't bored?
だから大丈夫だって。
Okay, then, so what will you do tomorrow?
それなんだけど、一つお願いしていいかな。
You want to come along again? Though I won't be able to talk to you, I don't mind.
違うよ。ただ、トルタの家まで連れてってくれるだけでいいの。
Huh? You mean to leave you alone there?
そういうこと。一人で留守番も嫌だけど、二人の邪魔をするのもちょっとね。
You won't. We're just going to church and a concert. Or are you not interested in others' performances?
そうじゃないけどね。でも、やっぱりいいや。
I'm not sure what to think of your strange sense of consideration for us.
そういうのでもないんだよ。ただ、一人よりはってだけ。
Let me ask you once more. You really won't come along? I'm telling you I don't mind.
だから、いいってば。
Oddball.
そういうわけだから、夜もきちんと迎えに来てね。
Yeah, I figure I'll be walking toward it back home anyway. I guess I could pick you up in the process.
そうだね。
I fully expected her to snap at me for that, but for some reason, she just thanked me with a smile. Okay guys, I'm gonna end this one here, and continue Symphonic Rain tomorrow. So, yeah, Christmas Day. It's almost Christmas, matching up perfectly. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.